Hi, this is Chris, Video Game Dustleys, and you're listening to the VGDS podcast with DanCavDragon.
Hey, I'm first today.
Yes, you are. Gee, I wonder why. Dizzy the Gamer Jit.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
And Guest Gamers Dad Level Podcast.
Space Horses.
Dan B.
Yep.
It's me, Dan B.
J Chip Show.
Howdy.
NT Shark 7.
Hey everyone.
And the Bargain Bin Hobo.
Let's get spooky.
As always, first segment, sleeve it or leave it. First game is Dark Pictures Anthology Man of Maiden for the PS4. Dad level, sleeve it or leave it.
I need to pick this game up. I haven't played it yet, but actually, if I haven't played any of these games from that company, but I'll probably save it.
Dan
I
B.
could probably do it 3D.
Oh yeah. Dan B.
What game is it? I didn't hear what.
It's Anthology Man of Maiden for the
Anthology
PS4.
Man of Maiden. Oh, I don't know this game at all, so
It's a horror game.
yeah, I guess probably leave it because I don't know this game.
Dan Cav.
Yeah, I would leave it. This is a good series of games. I haven't really played this one, but this entire, I guess it's a trilogy or something. Dark Pictures and trilogy or anthology.
It's
like 3 or 4
Anthology.
games.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
4 games, I think.
Yeah, so yeah, I think they're pretty good. So I'll just leave it.
Dizzy.
Anthology game sounds kind of fun. I haven't played too many of those, but PS4, I'm not sleeving anytime soon. Not until they get retro, at least.
J
Doing
Chip.
never well.
I have this game, and I haven't played it, so for that reason, I'm not sleeving it.
MT Shark.
Yeah, I would sleeve it. I guess I'm the only one that played this game. It's actually really good.
And Bargain Bin.
Well, I normally don't play horror games unless you can like fight back, but I'm guessing that's not the case in this one, so I'm leaving it.
Next title, Dying Light for the PlayStation 4. Dan Cav.
I'll leave this. I haven't played this game before.
Dizzy.
Nah, not any PS4 anytime soon.
Dad level.
I enjoy this game a lot, but probably not sleep this one.
Dan B.
I like this game. I'd just leave it.
J Chip.
Oh, fuck yeah, I love this game.
MT Shark.
Yeah, I'll pass on this one.
And Bargain Bin.
I'm gonna leave it right next to a Man of Madden or Man of Maiden.
Next title. I might get a better response with this one. Evil Dead, Hail to the King, PlayStation. Bargain Bin.
Yeah, I heard this one's really bad, so that means I want to play it. So yeah, I want to sleeve it.
MC Shark.
Yeah, I would love a groovy sleep for this one.
J Chip.
Nah, the movies were better.
Dizzy.
I should have picked this game up when it was $35. Now it's a lot more than that, but if I had it, hell yeah, I'd sleeve that.
Dan Cav.
Yeah, I actually haven't played this game, but I think it's old enough now that I would think it's worth sleeving.
Dan B.
I dig this game. I have the Dreamcast version though, which I think is maybe a little bit better. But I mean, it's Evil Dead. It's like Resident Evil. I'd just leave it.
And Dad level.
Klaatu Verata. Oh wait, no. Yeah, I would totally sleeve it and make it 3D.
And
Yeah, I enjoyed this game back in the day. So
and last title, I'll Bleed for Dreamcast. Dad level.
I could see a 3D popped. I've never actually played it, but probably I would.
Dan B.
Well, considering this game runs about $300 even without a case, I would probably sleeve it.
Dan Cav.
Yeah, I would sleeve this game. I actually do have this game, so it's pretty good. So I'll sleeve it.
Dizzy.
I would pronounce it ill bleed, and hell yeah, I'd sleeve it.
J-Chip.
Yeah, I would sleeve it just because it's so expensive.
MC Shark.
Yeah, I would sleeve it.
And Bargain Bin.
I've heard of this game. I think they say it's like Resident Evil, but I'm not really big into horror games, like I said, so I'll leave it.
So we're going to leave it. I don't know if you see the theme, but the theme is horror. This is our Halloween podcast. So,
Spooky.
all right. Next segment. It's a co-op edition. I don't know if you guys know about the co-op edition, but one of these box art is from my wife. She picked it, and the other box art is from me. So this is the co-op edition of Guess That Box Art. Does anybody have any guesses or knows the first image?
I don't, but I'm gonna take a very wrong guess. This is the unreleased horror game about 5 from Legend of Zelda.
Good guess.
It's,
I know this one.
I know this one too, so I'll just see if anyone else guesses.
Anybody else?
Nah.
Time to
Is
tip
it a
my
Silent
tongue.
Hill?
No, it's not. Dizzy.
Oh man.
Dan B, what'd you say?
It's on the tip of my tongue. Is it NES? It's not NES game, isn't it?
No,
No.
No. Okay.
there was a Super Nintendo version of it.
Okay.
And
Oh,
it's a.
you just gave it away.
All right, yeah, it's more known in Japan.
I know it now. I think.
There was never a physical release, as far as I know, on the Super NES over here. It was only a Super
No.
Famicom.
Star Fox 2.
Star Fox, though. All right, who said that they knew it first? Was it J-Chip? Or
J-Chip did.
J-Chip. Go ahead, J-Chip.
Yeah, this is Clock Tower.
Yep,
Nice.
Clock
Nice.
Tower. All right.
Ooh, I guessed it right before that.
I know the second one, but I'm gonna let other people guess first.
You do know the
I
second one, huh?
I know
Yeah.
the second one, yeah.
Yeah, we know it.
All right, go
Saw
ahead.
somebody
Just say
pick
it.
that up.
I know
Oh, hold up.
as well.
Suffering.
Suffering.
Yep.
Suffering.
Yep, that's it. You got it.
Love that game.
I left off. I guess I took too much out of that image, huh? I was just gonna do like the top of his electric chair, but I was like, you know what? That's probably gonna be a little too hard.
So who did what? Which one was you and
Yeah,
which
that's
one?
what I was wondering.
Chris was the suffering.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Yeah, I was the suffering. She was Clock Tower.
If you haven't played Suffering, though, seriously play it. It's a great game. It's scary, but it's great.
All right, Dizzy.
Next is our logo sleeve of the month.
Gee, I wonder why Dizzy's doing it. Bones, where are you, Bones? All right, go ahead, Dizzy.
This podcast logo sleeve of the month goes to Freakafor. Great streamer on YouTube. You can check him out at Freakafor. The way he cusses.
I was gonna say,
jealous of him.
make sure no children are present while you're watching Freakafor.
Oh yeah, the sailors get jealous.
That's fine.
So you
Cool,
guys
dude.
can check him out at Freakafor on YouTube.
Rated
he just
rated M
had-
for mature.
Rated M, sometimes rated, who knows?
Lots of F-bombs.
Oh
Lots
yes,
of 'em.
yes.
So
And
Dizzy,
I think his album just dropped. He just had a CD that just came out.
Yeah, I
just got
believe it
mine
did. Yep.
I got mine's in the mail today, so check him out, man. He's
Like classical music composed highly of the F bomb.
probably, you could expect that. If I could choose for him and see what game would go in there, I'd probably say Zelda 2, because I know he just completed that game not too long ago.
Anybody else that knows that watches Freakafor can give me a game to put in a sleeve?
I think he watches Captain Algebra streams a bunch, but I don't know what game he'd pick.
Oh yeah, he comes to our streams all the time. But yeah, that Zelda 2 was probably the last NES game he beat.
Probably
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat, because I know he's been doing
Yeah.
shorts.
He's been
For,
doing a lot
the
of
newer
Mortal
Mortal
Kombat
Kombat.
shorts too, yeah.
Mhm.
And he's really into horror movies, so
Yes,
Oh,
he
yeah.
is.
check his
Yes, he
channel out.
is. I'm trying to get him on here to do an intro, but he's kind of hard to get a hold of. So one day he will have his intro. And he
Cool.
said, "Do you mind that I cuss?" I'm like, "No."
It's expected.
Yeah. If I mind, I would not ask you come on here. All right, Dan.
All right, franchise of the month. Keeping with the Halloween theme, I picked a franchise. Hopefully, that's kind of in the theme of Halloween, and that's this House of the Dead. I was a little surprised there's that many games for this series. I had forgotten that some of these had come out, and there's some derivative titles like Typing of the Dead and then the pinball game. But and there's recently a remake of the original, so on Switch. So yeah, we'll just go down the list and tell me your thoughts on this franchise. Which one, with any installments that you in particular liked a lot, and or if you may not be a fan of this at all. So let's start from the top and start with Dad level. Let's hear what you have to say about the House of Dead.
So, since I am a big horror zombie fan, and this was like right up my alley back in the day, we played this mainly on the arcades. So, I didn't actually play any of this series on the console. I think I played 1, 2, and 3 in the arcades.
I think that's going to be the answer for most people in here.
I mean, I did pick up the Switch remaster. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I watched a friend play through it.
All right, yeah. I mean, this is a gun game, so you know, your miles may vary in terms of whether or not you have a gun and whether or not you like playing with a gun at home and that sort of thing. So yeah, definitely, the arcade is where I first played it.
And a side note, don't play with guns.
How about Dan B?
Yeah, I mean, I played the arcade a lot. And then beyond the arcade, really, I've only played the House of the Dead 2 on Dreamcast, as well as Typing of the Dead. And I probably like Typing of the Dead the best of those.
Nice.
It was just a lot of fun to grab the Dreamcast typewriter back in the day and you know, just kind of learn to type with it. I mean, I've taken typing class anyway, but yeah, it's a fun game to teach you typing if you want to like really learn the keyboard. And yeah, beyond that, I don't really know many of these other games. I assume they're all fairly similar, though.
Yeah,
they're all light gun games.
Yeah, I would say so. They're all shooter games. But yeah, no, I actually have never played Typing of the Dead, so now I'm intrigued by it now.
If Bones was here, he would have said something about Typing of the Dead.
Yeah, I think I remember him buying the keyboard, right?
Yeah, he bought like the keyboard and the game at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was only like 2 games that worked with the keyboard.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
either got it for Typing of the Dead or you got it for Phantasy Star.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dizzy, are you a House of Dead fan?
The games are pretty cool. I wish I had that typing game. That I would have got my Guam up with that. I took typing in high school, but that seemed like a better alternative. Yeah, light gun games. So I heard the Dreamcast game is really good if you have the light gun. Quesadilla Padilla actually gifted me the Wii version, House of the Dead 2 and 3. That was really fun. I saw Linda the gamer guy was streaming House of the Dead remake earlier today, and that looked really fun. From what I've heard though, it doesn't work too good with the Joy-Cons if you're trying to use it like a light gun. So they may have to fix that or something, come out with an update. But yeah, all around great games.
Excellent. How about J-Shep?
Yeah, the only ones I've played is 1 through 3, and then Overkill. I've also played Typing of the Dead, but Overkill is probably my favorite just because of how raunchy it is. Like, it's funny how people say the Wii is a kiddie console, but like, you know, show them this and they'll probably change their mind.
Yeah.
Also, I will say, Typing of the Dead objectively has the best voice acting in any video game ever.
Wow, another Typing of the Dead player. Wow, I would never have thought. Mark, Empty Shark, how about you and as I say, Typing of the Dead, House of the Dead?
Yeah, I enjoy this series. I played 1 through 3 as well as Overkill on the Wii. I still never played one on PS3. I'm not sure if there's a difference between that or the Wii version, but like Jay's Chips had mentioned that the Wii version is very mature. I was surprised. I was like, wow, I'm playing this. This is actually they like curse, I think, from what I remember. I was like, wow, you actually have this on the Wii.
And there's titties.
Fun. Yeah.
Can't go wrong there.
Hey now.
I definitely enjoy playing the Sega Saturn version from time to time.
Yeah, that's quite a grail if you could find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the Wii game, but I have no memory of it. But after this, I really I think I want to go back and check it out again. But
Yeah, me too.
And finally, Bargain Bin. We were talking about this before the podcast started. I think you have some things to say about House of the Dead.
Well, for sure I do. My brother and I used to. So, as mentioned before, the House of the Dead 2 and 3 is also on the Wii. My brother and I played that a lot. We used to reference it. We're meeting G over there. And we also played in the arcades if we saw it. But also for my birthday this year, he gave me House of the Dead Remake. And I have a bit of a funny story to share with you. I'm really bad at aiming in that game. So right at the beginning, you see some scientists being chased by zombies. So I said, I'll save you. So I aim and fire, and it turns out I shot the scientist. But I do love this game, and I have Overkill on the PS3, and I haven't played very much of it, but I really want to. I have some of the guns and the camera and everything, so I need to just put that all together and play with the guns. But yeah, I have a lot of memories of this game, and my brother and I are really bad about shooting the innocents when we're trying to shoot the zombies.
Cool. Chris, do you have anything to say about this series?
I played in the arcade. I didn't never played on the console. But I don't know if you remember, but you gifted me House of the Dead 3 on Xbox.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. That's about it. That's all I really say.
Yeah, the only thing I was like, House of the Dead 4 is a weird one because it was in arcade, but it was only on the PlayStation 3 network, digital only. So there's no physical version of that, as far as I know. So yeah, so that's probably the one people probably may not have seen or played.
Yeah, I never heard of it until tonight.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's still available to download or play, but anyways, that's a hard one to get a hold of because there's no physical copy of it. But anyways, happy Halloween, everybody! This is the franchise of the month, House of the Dead.
All right, on to the Hallowcast. So I asked a few people. Well, actually, it was open to everybody to come up with some questions for this podcast to make it a little easier to get everybody's input. So, unfortunately, Owaz, he left early because he had to get up early. So, Bones, that's your fault. Let's start with his questions and we'll just work our way down. All right, so in Owaz questions, number 1, what do you do for Halloween? Dad level.
So what do I do for Halloween? In the past, I mean, me and my dad would make us costumes and stuff, and we would go to the malls and trick-or-treat around town. Now, I usually kind of like just sit at home and pass out candy and watch horror movies while my wife takes my son trick-or-treating around the neighborhood.
Do you get dressed up currently?
Not anymore. I used to, though. Just don't have time with work and everything. My dad used to make our own costumes from scratch. So I've been Cyclops, Iron Man, Scarlet Spider, Luke from Return of the Jedi and A New Hope. Quite a bit of costumes, but I haven't done anything recently.
It's more of a family thing for you, not solo.
Yeah.
I'm just going down the rest of the questions he has here.
Yeah, no problem.
Do you hand out candy?
Yes.
And do you decorate the house?
Yes, we do, and I decorate the outside, everything. I mean, inside and outside.
Is it like an overabundance of decorations, or just like an average?
It depends on the year. Usually what I'll do is we have like a big oak tree in front of our house, so I'll make a giant spider web, and we have a prop spider. And usually I'll take one of my son's stuffed animals and kind of wrap it in web and just put it on there like it's going to come down and eat it. We have a couple of styrofoam, like 2 tombstones and stuff, and some other things. We'll usually put some black lights out.
Cool.
But I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to do it this year. I really want to because it's like the perfect time since my son's 8. But we'll see how things go.
All right, Dan B.
Yeah. What do I do for Halloween?
Yes.
It just depends on the year. Generally, though, I'm in a band, and a lot of times we'll play a show on Halloween, and everybody will get dressed up and kind of go out and do that. Although the last 2 years, there hasn't been many shows to do. But yeah. So, and this year I'm not playing one either. But so what I've been doing is really not much for Halloween these past couple of years. I've streamed once. A horror game. But yeah, things have slowed down for Halloween for me. So,
Do you hand out candy?
I have before in the past, but I'm not like in a neighborhood where a lot of kids come around. So
You decorate?
no, not anymore. So
I hear you.
used to have I had kids and stuff, and they're out of the house now. They're grown and stuff. So I basically let a lot of that stuff go.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
All right, Dan, Cav.
Yeah, I have kids, so Halloween is still a big thing for us and the family. We usually go with trick-or-treating with some other friends, with my daughter's friends. So the two families are get together. We'll probably order food beforehand and then go out once trick-or-treating starts. We usually do costumes, like a theme for our family, like we did like Harry Potter one year. This year we're doing Red Riding Hood.
Are you the big bad wolf?
Yeah. Oh no, I'm actually the woodsman, the huntsman.
Nice. Could have been Granny.
Yeah. So that's what we do. We dress up as a theme and go trick or treating. Somebody will stay behind and hand out candy. We do hand out candy. And decorating the house, just very simple. I did today. We have an inflatable witch, I guess. I just stuck that outside today for the first time. So.
All right, Dizzy.
Definitely a family thing. The first year of the pandemic, we couldn't go out trick or treating, so we live streamed me and the family playing Nightmare on Elm Street NES, and that was so much damn fun. But usually we go out. I have like that level. My mom is the one who actually made me 2 different costumes. I have one of Two-Face from the Batman animated series, and also Two-Face from Batman Forever. So I usually pick which one of those 2 I'm gonna be as. I've been doing that for like the past 10 years. Either dressed up as either of those 2. Two-Face.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Exactly. I mean, my mom sewed that stuff up right, so like I still fit into the costumes. I still wear them to this day. But it's a family thing. Me and my daughter, my wife, we go out trick or treating. There's this neighborhood called Riverside close by, and like the whole city goes to that place. It's like eight blocks that they rope it off. And like the whole block, like all 8 blocks just give out candy. They have parties. So, and that place is usually crowded to the point where there's like police just parked out there, like watching everything going on. So it gets real big. But we go walk around over there, trick or treating. We don't decorate the house anymore because one year we had a Snoopy out front that got stole. And after that, my wife's like, yeah, we're not putting stuff out front anymore. It wasn't that cheap, so we don't really decorate as much anymore. But it's a family thing. We go out and have fun.
Cool.
Get back real late.
All right.
Man, somebody stole Snoopy.
They stole Snoopy, man. That thing was like $40.
Man.
Oh,
Like,
That's
yeah, we're not
horrible.
doing that anymore.
Ugh.
People, man. What's up, J Chip? How about you?
I mean, I don't really dress up anymore, and I don't really give out candy just because I live out in the East Bumfuck, so usually my family will go trick-or-treating, and what I do is just pop up some popcorn, watch horror movies, and hang out with my dogs.
Hey, that's cool. Mark, MT Shark.
Yeah, I usually take my daughter out trick or treating, and I also get dressed up, and also usually at the end of the day, like after we go out trick or treating, and I'll take over and hand out the candy the rest of the night. And I also decorate the house. I usually this year I actually decorated early. I started the middle of September because I figure if I put it up, I might as well enjoy it. I feel like 1 month just isn't enough time.
I agree with that.
Yeah, it goes by fast.
And bargain bin.
So I still cosplay. Will continue to cosplay till the day I die. I'm actually thinking do something a little different this year though. So, I was in England recently, and while we were there, my mom and my sister-in-law went to, as they call it, a boot sale, or as a swap meet basically. And they had a Jason Voorhees mask there, and I wanted to dress up as Jason Voorhees for my next Halloween/Comic-Con next year. So what I might do is I might, on the night, kind of hide in the dark part of my porch with the Jason Voorhees mask on, and then when people come up, just kind of start walking towards them and see how they react. We hand out candy. I usually dress up to hand out the candy. I like to do it and see everyone's costumes. It was a big family thing, but like my brother and sister moved out. I'm the only kid left in the house now, so I don't know how that's gonna work this year because my sister this is the first Halloween where she's not there. It's weird. And then decorate the house. We do a little bit. We have like these little like trick or treat pumpkin buckets that we like attach to the lights in front of the house, and that's the most of it. And then we play some Halloween music on the computer when the trick or treaters come by, and that's about it.
All right. Question 2 from OAS. Do you have a game or games you like to play or watch during October, or a game soundtrack? Bargain bin.
So I'm not really a big horror movie guy. I mean, I'm just a chicken. I'll just say that right now. But I do actually enjoy the Mummy movies, the first 2 Brendan Fraser Mummy movies. I don't acknowledge the third
Great
one.
movies.
That movie does not exist. You cannot tell me
Same.
otherwise.
Same.
And also I like quote unquote spooky video games. Like I said, like The Suffering earlier. I'm gonna bring up a couple more as we get closer, but I do enjoy some Halloween appropriate games that aren't actually scary, because like I said, I'm a total chicken. And the soundtracks to Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th on the NES are great. So I like to jam into those.
MT Shark.
Yeah, I usually try to play just random horror games during October. I'm currently trying to play Cold Fear on the OG Xbox. I started up and I just got lost right in the beginning, so I'm gonna have to watch a Let's Play of it to figure out how to get past it.
And J-Chip.
Yeah, I actually saw a pretty good horror movie today, but we'll get to that later. As far as games I like to play during October, I like to play the Resident Evil games. The Fatal Frame games are really good for this time of month, and I guess my favorite game soundtrack, horror related, would probably be the Silent Hill franchise.
Dizzy.
Yeah, for NES, I'd say Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street are a must to play on Halloween. I'm never going to beat those games, at least not in 30 minutes like I've seen other people do. But they're good games to play. I also like Ghost Hunter on PS2.
Love that one.
Yeah, and for soundtracks, I have some vinyls that are like Halloween soundtracks. Nothing gaming-wise, but I'm pretty sure the Castlevania game soundtracks are all great.
Yeah.
Dan. Cav.
Yeah, I was gonna say Castlevania for my soundtrack. That's definitely a good time of year to fire up a Castlevania game. So I would say that the Castlevania series would be my October pick, because of course Dracula is a great character to be battling in October, and yeah, like Dizzy said, the music for all the Castlevania games are phenomenal. So Castlevania.
Dan B.
Yeah, I think that Well, for my soundtrack, we'll go with Castlevania 3. That's probably my favorite Castlevania soundtrack. Although, Super Castlevania 4 is also pretty good. And then, of course, you got to play the Castlevania games.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just
What's Castlevania without the game?
Yeah, exactly. So those two go hand in hand. And then I'm a big Resident Evil person. I like pretty much all the Resident Evil series, even the bad ones. And on that kind of same note, I like the Parasite Eve games, which is
Nice.
kind of
Yeah.
horror games. Parasite Eve 1 and 2, and Third Birthday is pretty cool too if you get a chance to play that.
I hated that one, but I get it.
It's not the same. It's definitely not the same.
I hated that one bad.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's like you
need it
gotta, like,
then.
yeah, it's not. It's definitely not the same at all. But I feel like you gotta have it to like complete the trilogy kind of thing. But anyway, yeah, that and
we'll have to have that conversation now because I want to get your take on the fact that you don't kind of play a certain character in the game at all. But anyway,
Right. Yeah, I hear you.
but-
But yeah, and then the Silent Hill games, and then one game, and we might have been talking about this earlier, but I really like Lollipop Chainsaw. I think we did that last year, and that was a lot of fun streaming that for Halloween on our channel. And yeah, that was a game I kind of missed, and picked it up on a recommendation, and yeah, it was great. Love that game.
Actually, just was playing that this morning.
Yeah, Lollipop Chainsaw.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
it is. So yeah, those are my games.
Okay. Dad level.
Let me do the soundtrack first as well. Like, I have most of the soundtracks for Castlevania on vinyl, so I'll usually play those throughout the house sometimes. Super Castlevania 4 would be probably my favorite soundtrack to play. But as far as games, I haven't played anything yet, but I plan to play through the Thing sequel game. It's been a long time since I played it, and I enjoyed it because it's technically the actual sequel to the original movie, as far as John Carpenter's concerned. But I'm looking forward to Dead Space, and I would like to play through it in October, but I can't because I got the remake coming out. So, same thing with Callisto Protocol. I don't know if I'm saying that right. The kind of the spiritual successor to Dead Space. But I'm probably going to play through Silent Hill 2 this October. Or sometime during the month.
All right, last question for OWAS. Number 3. Any unusual movie or game for the month? Not horror themed, or something that most people wouldn't think fits with the usual playlist like a Christmas game. Dad level.
I have nothing for this one at the moment.
Hey, it's all good. You don't have to have anything.
Yeah.
Dan B.
Yeah, no, I mean nothing's springing to mind for this one.
Cool.
I mean,
It's all good. This
play
might just be.
games anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Cav.
Man, I mean, I was just playing Bust a Move, that bubble popping game this morning. So that's that's monster themed. So I guess that's a little bit of a. But I mean, it's a puzzle game. Happy, it's not something I would think about Halloween. So I was playing that this morning.
Dizzy.
On horror related, I'd probably say maybe something like Edward Scissorhands. I mean, I don't think that's horror. That might even be closer to a Christmas movie, but same, I'm just playing random games all the time.
J-Chip.
Pretty much what Dan B said. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
That's cool. That's cool. MC Shark.
Yeah, I can't think of anything for this question.
OWAS, you're striking out, man.
Yeah. Oh, I was with the stumper question here.
Hobo.
I think that Christmas game.
Oh.
throws
Oh, go
me
ahead,
off.
Mark. Oh, yeah, Christmas
Hey.
game. Go ahead, Hobo.
This morning I was just playing this game called Hazelnut Hex. It's an indie game. It's like a bullet hell shooter, but you play as a witch, so I guess that still counts. I don't really think I have anything for this one either. Sorry, OWAS.
Oh, OWAS struck out.
I did think of something, though.
Go ahead.
Just because you said... So I consider Parasite Eve 1 a Christmas game. And I actually like to play it Christmas Day to New Year's Eve. Each day, the chapters. So I'll play it up to the end of the chapter and then go to the next day and play the same thing. And I do that every year.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's cool.
That's pretty cool.
See,
Yeah.
that's something.
Kind of like how Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
All right, next round of questions brought to you by the Hobo. We'll start with you. Do you
Awesome.
prefer serious zombie games or comedic ones?
I'm gonna say comedic because, as mentioned before, I'm such a chicken. I mean, I do occasionally play Dead Island, but that game is freaky. I can't play it too long for not wanting to play it. But in general, I like the comedic zombie games.
The mechanics of that game suck.
Yeah, fair point.
Dead Island.
What's an example of a comedic zombie game? I can't think of one at the top of my head.
Neighbors, zombies.
Zombies
ate
ate
my
me.
neighbors, maybe?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. That's a good example. There's another one. I just can't remember the name of it. Empty Shark.
Yeah, I would say I actually prefer both of them evenly. And I think the game you might be thinking of is Lollipop Chainsaw.
Yeah, I guess that's
I
a.
think that's
Yeah.
a pretty. That seems kind of comedic. It's like doesn't take itself too seriously.
Right. J-Chip.
So yeah, I like those games and
Okay.
like I'm sorry,
That's
like
fine.
Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead. Those games are fun.
And J-Chip.
Why not both? I mean, there's good serious zombie games, and there's good comedic ones, so why not both?
Dizzy.
Well, you guys know I don't like that Call of Duty Zombies. That's a serious one. Comedic ones, yeah. Zombies Ate My Neighbors is a great game for SNES, but I like the light gun games, zombie games like what is it, Crypt Killer on Sega CD and Corpse Killer on Sega CD
Yeah.
and Crypt Killer on PS1. Those are some good light gun games. So yeah, those are some good serious ones.
DanCav.
Yeah, I was gonna say serious because I couldn't think of any comedic ones, but yeah, Lollipop Chainsaw is definitely a good game, so I would say both.
Dan B.
I like both, but I think that most good zombie games, like zombie movies, have elements of both, right? Like, there's always like a
Yeah,
moment
yeah, I
in
see
zombie
that.
movies.
True.
It's a
Yeah,
very
it's
good
like-
point.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like if you want a well-balanced game, something like Dead Rising when that came out, I just thought, oh, this is.
Oh,
really
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it kind of nailed that whole feeling of like it's kind of funny and kind of not. Like Evil Dead too, that's kind of the same deal.
Right.
So I kind of like ones that do both.
And that level.
Yeah, I would say the same. I mean, I go to more serious games. I mean, I love Days Gone, but Dead Rising's another one that's, fantastic series. So I like both.
Next question. Number 2. Not everyone likes to be scared. What are some Halloween games that are not scary? Dad level.
Oh, Costume Party. I think it's what it's called, right? That RPG that came out.
Costume Quest.
Huh? Is it Costume Quest?
Yeah.
Is it okay, yeah. Costume Quest. I can't remember the name. They did 2 games for that. Really good, not scary game at all.
Dan B.
I like Monster Party for NES. That's
Oh,
good
yes.
Halloween game
That's
not
a good
scary, but
game.
It's fun. Yeah, it's a great one. So
Dan-
you go with that.
Yeah. DanCav.
Dark Stalkers, the Capcom fighting game. That's monsterish, Halloweenish, I think, and not scary at all.
Great pick.
Dizzy.
Yeah.
Definitely Scooby-Doo Mystery on Super Nintendo. Not scary. It's actually fun. It's a good game.
J-Chip.
Probably the Nightmare Before Christmas PS2
Cool.
game. It's a really good
Nice.
God of War
Yeah.
clone. And if for
Yeah.
whatever reason you're scared of it, I'm sorry, but you're a pussy and you need to go out more.
MC.
I would say Haunting Starring Poltergeist on the Sega Genesis. The game's fun, where you basically with the poltergeist and you scare the family out of the house.
And Bargain Bin.
Alright, if you're a frequent listener of podcast or frequent guest, you've heard me say this before. Monster Madness Grave Danger. I'm sorry, I just love that game, and it's really good Halloween game that's not scary. And you can play with 4 players. So, and it wasn't even inspired by Zombies Ate My Neighbors. So, yeah, if you had a PS3, ignore the Xbox 360 version. That one's not as good. So yeah, get the PS3 version and thank me later.
Will do.
Next question in the bargain bin hobos questions number 3. What is your favorite video game non-boss monster? Least favorite. Go ahead, bargain bin.
For my favorite, it would be like, and we were talking about the suffering earlier, and one of the first enemies you find is like a bladed monster, has like blades for hands and feet. I'd say that one is my favorite, and my least favorite non-boss monster would be those freaking face hugger things and the alien. Those get me every time.
MC Shark.
I would say the original zombie on Resident Evil would be my favorite. And least favorite, sticking with Resident Evil, I would say the Hunters, because they're so cheap.
J-Chip.
Yeah, I would have to agree. The Hunters are my least favorite, but my favorite would have to be the Licker from Resident Evil 2. I like his introduction. He's so cool.
Dizzy.
I'd say for my favorite, it'd probably be the Deadites on Evil Dead for PS2. It's just fun, just like shooting them up with shotguns and killing them with chainsaws. My least favorite, I don't know what the name is, but these damn shadow things on this game called Heart of Darkness for PS1, they just freaking grab you and you have to like shake them off. Yeah, man, I hate those damn things.
DanCav.
That's a great pick, Dizzy, the Shadow Monster.
Yeah, I love that game.
Yeah, that's scary. My favorite non-boss monster is probably the slime from Dragon Warrior series, Dragon Quest. Those little cute little slime things. Those are good non-boss monsters. And then my least favorite are the Medusa heads in Castlevania because they're very hard to beat.
Dan B.
Man, I'm having trouble thinking of one for this, but I guess for my favorite, I'll go with the dogs from Resident Evil, just because.
Cerberus.
Yeah, because the first jump scare I ever had was when that dog jumped out,
Through the window.
And you're like,
That scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, now I know what I'm in for, and that's kind of a cool moment. And so least favorite would be, man, a Goomba from Super Mario Brothers.
Those damn Goombas.
And that level.
My favorite non-boss, Deathclaws from Fallout. But and then I guess the least favorite would be, this is the one that would give me the trouble when I'm trying to think of what I can think of that would be a non-boss enemy that I don't like. But I would agree with Dan Cav about Medusa heads.
That level. What's your favorite boss monster and least favorite?
So I really like William Birkin and all of his transformations. So he would definitely be my favorite. Least favorite. This one's gonna stump me. I have no clue.
Hey, that's fine.
Yeah, I usually just kind of push through it.
Go ahead, Dan B.
Yeah, I'm having trouble thinking too. Maybe Ganon from Breath of the Wild, maybe my favorite. It's not even that great, but I can't think of anything else right now. Would you consider him a monster even?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
And then least favorite, is that like just one that you can't stand
Don't like.
playing? Yeah. That the final boss on Ninja Gaiden, the original Ninja Gaiden game, the first one. That thing, because if you die on him, you have to go back and do the whole freaking level all over again.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of a pain. So yeah, that's mine.
Thank you.
Yeah, same. I mean, like, bosses that like are impossible to beat are my least favorite. So I would say like Lucifer from Ghosts and Goblins and Dracula from Castlevania. Those are I was never looking forward to fighting those guys at the end of the game. Favorite boss monster though, I do like it was kind of cool to me when I first fought it was Mother Brain from Metroid. I thought that was kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
Dizzy.
I'd say for my favorite, it'd be Nasty Nork from Spyro the Dragon. I love that game. So, getting to the end and actually playing against him was great. Least favorite, I'd probably say Ghostbusters NES. Once you're on top of the building and you have to fight. I forgot the name of the monster. What was it?
Gozer.
Gozer. Yeah, there it goes. Least
Stay Puft
favorite.
was there too.
Yeah, but you can get past Stay Puft if you just keep shooting to Gozer. But yeah, Gozer. If you don't beat it, it sucks.
And then if you beat it, it sucks too.
Yeah, you know what? Absolutely right.
J-Chip.
My favorite boss off the top of my head would probably be the final boss in Hollow Knight, named the Hollow Knight. That's a really fun fight. And my least favorite would probably be Death from the Castlevania games. He just kicks my ass all the time.
MC Shark.
Yeah, I would say my favorite boss monster would be Dracula in Castlevania Bloodlines. And I guess my least favorite would be, any boss in any bullet hell shooter.
And Bargain Bin.
So my favorite boss monster, again, it's from that Monster Madness game. It's Huggles the Dinosaur. It's a Barney parody. And he starts the fight by going, I love you, you love me, I will kill you horribly. And as for the least favorite boss monster, I'm going to kind of cheat a little bit. It was okay, so have you played the Jurassic the Hunted? It wasn't a Jurassic Park game, but it's a dinosaur shooter. I'm going to say the final boss of that game sucks. It's so annoying. So the Spinosaurus in Jurassic the Hunted is my least favorite boss monster. And technically not a monster, it's a dinosaur, but I don't care.
All right, now we're on number 5. Ever been scared by a game that wasn't trying to scare you? Bargain Bin.
Okay, so it was a mobile app. So you guys remember those like carnivores games on the old computers where like you hunt dinosaurs? Well, it was one of those. It was like a mobile app. And I'm doing really good, getting a bunch of kills. Then out of nowhere, an Allosaurus jumps in the middle of nowhere, right in the screen, and jump scares me. And it wasn't trying to scare me, but it scared me so bad I couldn't play it for like 2 days after that. I was so mad though because I had a huge score and I lost because that stupid thing ambushed me.
MT Shark.
Oh, this is embarrassing. I would say Super Bomberman R, because I would play it in handheld mode and it's like super tiny. It's a super tiny screen, and I would think that I'm safe, but then like the bomb would go off really loud, and I had my headphones in because was commuting at work at the time. It would just be so loud, and I'd blow up. I'm like, I would always jump during that.
J-Chip.
Yeah, the bombs and Super Bomberman.
J-Chip.
In the game Outer World, there's a character. I can't remember her name, but like she is on the screen when you get to the ship, and I don't know why, but whenever like she widened her eyes saying she's gonna self-destruct, like just that image kind of burned into my retinas, and I was like, man, this is creepy.
Dizzy.
I'd say not really, but I would say that Manhunt for PS2, like I had the game for many years, and I just did not want to play it, mostly because the hype around it. I just thought it was going to be like a horror-filled game with a bunch of gore and stuff, and a bunch of like killing people and stabbing them. Once I got to play the game, it's not that bad. It was just a lot of hype behind it when it came out.
DanCav.
Yeah, sometimes what Dizzy said reminded me of something. Like sometimes a game gets such a bad reputation that I'm scared to play it because I don't want. I don't want to. And like Cyberpunk is the new Cyberpunk game. Like I never played it because I just heard such bad things about it. So that I don't think it was a try. I was trying, definitely not trying to scare me, but I was scared to play that game. But a game that I actually did play, and it wasn't. It was, I found it scary, but no, it was like Metal Gear when you're trying to sneak around the base, and you're trying to be really stealthy, and then somebody sees you, all of a sudden that exclamation point comes up, yeah, and then the timer goes off, you have to run and hide. That's always, that was very tense. I remember being really like stressed out playing that game.
Snake?
Anxiety.
Yeah.
DB.
Yeah, so maybe, I don't know if this even counts, and I don't want to give any spoilers, but the game Undertale, when you get to the end, see, I don't want to spoil for anybody, but when you get to the end, like, this big thing happens, and no matter what you do to the game, you could reset the game, you could do whatever, and it remembers where you were at, and it's like, oh, you reset because you tried cheating, and stuff like that, and it's kind of crazy, it's kind of creepy, it remembers everything you did. And,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It scared the heck out of me the first time.
Right? Yeah, it's scary the first time that happens, and I don't know if it's meant to be, but it's creepy.
Yeah.
And that level.
I'm glad somebody knew.
I have nothing for this. I mean, I just can't think of a story where I got scared by playing a regular game. I mean, I think maybe Half-Life. There's a Half-Life 2. There's a spot in the game where you have to go through Ravenholm, and then just after that, when you're going through the mines and stuff, that creeps me out. But the game's not really scary, but it has scary elements.
Yeah.
All right, number 6. Has a horror game failed to scare you? That level.
I have nothing for this one either. Wow,
It's all good. You're not gonna be able to answer them all sometimes.
Yeah.
Dan B.
I mean, I played through Resident Evil: The Village last year, and I don't think I got scared once.
Did you do it in
I don't
VR?
No, not.
That's
I've
the
got VR
key.
now, and I need to try it.
That's the key.
Yeah, I think you might be right, but it's like maybe they're just action games now and not so much horror. I don't know.
I mean, that could be.
Yeah.
DanCav.
This is a tough one. I mean, most horror games that are supposed to scare you, I think are pretty effective and well done. I mean, we talked about House of the Dead. I think that's. I don't know if it's. Yeah, I mean, I don't find those particularly scary, but they're horror games.
Dizzy.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the same one, Manhunt for PS2. Like I said, there was so much hype around it. The game was like banned in different countries and stuff. And then when I got to end up playing it, which was like I think maybe last year, it's like, it's like a regular GTA game almost. So yeah, that one's not scary at all.
J-Chip.
So I don't really play games to get scared, but like, I remember this one time in computer class, people were like, Slenderman is so scary, and I played through it with a straight face. So that was kind of disappointing.
MC Shark.
Yeah, I would say the Dark Pictures games. A lot of them, like, they're not that scary, but they are like creepy, but up to the point where you're like, oh my god, it's so scary, I don't want to continue playing.
Bargain.
So this might be kind of an unfair advantage, but Resident Evil 4 was a really good game, but it didn't scare me. But then again, I cheated. I was using Action Replay at the time to have like infinite health, infinite ammo, and the game didn't really scare me. Maybe got startled a couple times when I didn't see an enemy and it got me. But interesting story, Dan B. I was at Denver Comic Con this year, and I met a Lady Dimitrescu cosplayer, and she said that like the Resident Evil 7 and 8, or 7 in particular, is scary but kind of relies on being gross. And then where Resident Evil 8 is, she liked that it was scary but didn't have to resort to being super graphic. But also that you could spank Lady Dimitrescu with a fly swatter, so that kind of helped kill the humor, kill the horror a little bit.
Now I want to play it.
She'll kill you if you do it, but you can do it.
It's definitely
I don't know.
playing.
Yes, Village is good. I think it's actually the better one out of like between it and 7.
Yeah, there's more there, more to it.
Yeah. I think that after Resident Evil 3 and Code Veronica, all the Resident Evil games failed to be scary to me. I was there more for the story than the horror elements.
Yeah, once they switched from tank controls to action controls, it was different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking
Now,
of
the remakes were good, but
True.
speaking of storyline, I know Dizzy, you were mentioning that the Manhunt game got banned because of.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, in some countries, I guess the storyline is why the game gets banned, not because of it being scary or anything like that. It's just more based on who you are in the game. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a violent reaction.
Right.
But
That just made me
not want to play it.
Right. That just made me think of that when you were talking about how it got banned in some countries. That's usually why, because of the storyline. I guess they think people are gonna go out and be the video game.
Emulate it.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
All right. Last question, 7. For Bargain Bin's questions. Do you think that a horror game themed around a kaiju, is that how you pronounce it?
I do.
Kaiju? Giant monster like Godzilla, by the way, could work. Why or why not? Bargain Bin.
I think that it could work if you have a good enough idea and the right team handles it. Like, let's think for a minute, what kind of powers does this kaiju have? Can it breathe fire like Godzilla? Can it, like, dig underground? Or is it just really big, and that's its one power, albeit it's a good one? And are you able to, like, attack the monster at all? Or if it pops in the room, you're screwed because it can, like, just step on you. And I think, yeah, like I said, it could work. I think it just need to have a lot of good planning and a good team to put it together.
Empty Shark.
Yeah, I don't think it could, because I feel like if it's like that big of a monster, it would be more into like an action game as opposed to like a horror game.
J-Chip.
I mean, anything can work realistically. I mean, you can have a game about the Bargain Bin hobo going to fight Godzilla with the paperclip. So, like, anything can work. So it wouldn't surprise me if this did, but it would just come down to person.
Dizzy.
J-Chip, that was a great idea for a game, by the way. I'd say if we're going off the 98 Godzilla with Matthew Broderick, nobody's gonna buy that. But you could do it. I mean, let's take it from the other side. Let's have it be you're the pedestrians running around the city, running away from like a huge Godzilla, and everybody's yelling, "Gojira, Gojira!" And you just gotta run around and try to get away from this monster. Do you jump in a manhole? What do you do? Like, let's look at it from the other side. It might work.
You also got to think about the graphics.
Yeah.
How good?
Updated graphics.
Yeah, exactly. How good are the
Realistic.
graphics? Is there bloodshed?
Oh, there's gotta be.
Of course.
Yeah.
You got to make it more horror than what you think. DanCav.
Yeah, I mean, there are plenty of Godzilla games out there, so I mean, definitely, I think it could work. But yeah, I mean, you'd have to make it a good game. You'd have to make sure it's done well. But I do like Dizzy's idea about having the giant monster like the boss, and you're having to either survive or try to team up to kill it or something, or bring it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go.
A spiritual kind of game, yeah.
Or you can be the big monster attacking the people.
Or 4v5 game, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Dan B.
Yeah, I think that all the points that were made are pretty good. Like, you could make a game out of anything, and if
Pretty
you
much.
design it right, it'll work. But I'm trying to think of like a good Godzilla game, and I can't think of any. Like there's arcade types like Rampage or something where you're just destroying things. I can't really think of anything where it's like a giant monster, and that was brought up too, where it's like the size of it wouldn't even make it a horror game. So I don't know. It's just they could make it work, but someone would have to do it that's not me.
Or me.
That level.
All right, so you want to know how this is going to work? You
Let's
think
hear
of Cloverfield, where you have people trying to evacuate a city while a kaiju is attacking. So you're going through different environments in the city trying to avoid it. Plus, avoiding any gangs that are there, military force that may be trying to stop you, other life forms that may be on this creature. Like you think of Godzilla from 1985, where he had giant like sea lice on him that was attacking people. So there's a lot of elements that could go in this. You just got to think about it. And I think that would really work because there's actually a series of games in Japan where you're like evacuating a city during a major crisis or some kind of like earthquake or tsunami. So just add a giant kaiju in on it. I think it would work.
Green light it.
Good answer. Good answer.
All right, that completes Bargain Bin's questions. Last set of questions, DanCav came up with. First question is, seen any scary movies in the past year? I think almost everybody has.
Well, I mean, good ones, like I guess.
Dad level.
Well, I'm doing my normal routine of watching horror movies a night all through October. But I just recently got a chance to watch The Black Phone. That's really, really good with Ethan Hawke. It's about a kid who gets kidnapped and he ends up talking to ghosts to help him try to survive the situation he's dealing with. It's really good.
Dan B.
To be honest, I haven't really watched many movies this past year. I can't think of any that were scary. I mean,
Too
like, I
busy
saw
playing
some-
video games.
Yeah, I play video games a lot. I've seen some Marvel movies. I mean, She-Hulk's kind of scary in some ways.
Talked a lot about that.
But yeah, I can't pick any scary movies that I've seen the past year I can think of offhand. And I'm usually a horror person, so I just can't think of any though.
DanCav.
Yeah, I mean, my idea for this question was kind of like, what's the current state of like horror movies? Like, are we in a kind of a lull where there's not that many, or they're they're strong as ever? And I was kind of trying to gauge like how that is based on what people have seen. I know like there's been new Halloween movies, that rebooted that franchise, and so there's been one every year for the last few years. And there's a movie right now called Smile in the theater that's supposedly really pretty good. It's doing well. So I haven't really seen any myself. That was kind of my take on this question.
There's the Monsters too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Folks are just watching that actually.
Yeah, is it good?
They weren't very impressed by it from what I saw.
Yeah. I haven't heard great things, but
It's definitely a Rob Zombie picture.
see, that's the intriguing part.
It
that
should
makes me wanna
be.
see it.
It should be. I haven't watched it, but from what I've heard, like, anyways, like, yeah, it's typical Rob Zombie fashion, but it doesn't play or live up to what you expect for it.
Okay.
Dizzy.
Sherry Moon's in it, so that's
Yeah, that's a bonus.
Yeah.
that's Rob Zombie.
All right, Dizzy.
Movies don't really scare me much nowadays, but I would say the only franchise I've been watching lately that does a good job of it is these anthology movies called VHS. Like there's VHS, VHS 2, 3. They just came out with VHS 94, and I think they're making a new one, VHS 99. And they're like all about, it's like an anthology movie where a guy puts a VHS tape in and it plays like something scary. It's not like The Ring or anything like that, but just what they're watching on the tape is like different horror scenes. But if you haven't seen it, like, check out VHS, especially VHS 3. The third one is really good. I have 94 on Blu-ray, and I'll be honest with you, I have not been able to watch like half the movie. Like the first one or two parts of it gets really gory and kind of like spooky, but those movies are really good. VHS, you got to check those out.
J-Chip.
Yeah, I guess in the current state of horror movies, this is one of the better years. X was really good. Barbarian was really good. The new Scream movie was good. But a movie that came out not too long ago that I saw today, the new Hellraiser movie was really, really good.
Nice. Empty Shark.
I mean, I've seen a couple. I don't know when they came out, but I've been watching a lot of horror movies on Tubi, and one, The Devil's Candy, was a good movie.
And Bargain Bin.
I think I said this a few times already, but I'm not a big chicken, so I don't really watch horror movies. So I really can't answer this one. I'll just have my teddy bear over here. Thank you very much.
All right, next question. Number 2, scariest game you played in the past year or so. Bargain Bin.
Well, I think that I just started playing Returnal not too long ago. I got it for my birthday, and I think that I've heard it's kind of creepy at times, but that's the best I got. Like I said, again.
Empty Shark.
Well, I haven't played anything super scary. I mean, if anything, it was creepy. I would say it'd be Little Nightmares 2. That game was pretty creepy.
J-Chip.
I'm not sure. I guess maybe a Hollow Knight. That's got some horror elements to it.
Dizzy.
I haven't played many, I'll be honest with you. I feel like the new Resident Evil games kind of hold your hand and tell you what to do to beat the game. So I haven't played many. I've seen this streamer, CC Stellar Sweet. She's been playing Outlast 2. And, like, the voices in your ear is so creepy. So I'd say that one's pretty creepy, but I haven't played anything personally.
DanCav.
Yeah, same here. I was kind of. I haven't really played anything scary in the last year, so I was just kind of curious if anybody else had. So yeah, nothing for me.
Dan B.
Let's see. I wouldn't say that they're like super scary, but there's a guy who does homebrew NES games, and he just made a game for Halloween, and he made a game for Friday the 13th. And these are brand new original games, and he's gave me access to those 2 games, and they're pretty fun. I mean, they're short. You can get through them in like 15-20 minutes, but those are cool. And then as far as like mainstream games, I mean, I just started picking up I wouldn't really call this scary, but maybe atmospheric, and that's Metroid Prime. It's kind of got some cool, creepy atmospheres, but I wouldn't say it's scary, but that's all I can think of right now.
Cool. That level.
The only game I can say that I played that's, I guess, scary. I mean, it does have scary elements in it, and that's going to be Ghostwire Tokyo. But it's not. To me, it wasn't scary, but there's some scary creatures in it. Fantastic game, by the way.
All right, next question, number 3. If you wanted to impress everyone at a Halloween party this year, which video game character would you dress up as?
Let me jump in real quick.
Go ahead,
So
Dave.
this is a party. Let's say you go to a party with like people who don't play video games, like your coworkers or family or something. So it's a Halloween party with general people there. So which character would you dress up to impress people? And like, keep in mind, like, they're not gonna have played like every single Final Fantasy game, so dressing up as some obscure character that they've never seen may not impress them. That's kind of what I was thinking for this question.
Go ahead, Dan. Keep going. DanCav.
Oh, my answer?
Yep.
So for that, like, whenever I go to conventions and like cosplay things, I always find the ones that are the like Transformers, because their costumes are pretty elaborate, like Optimus Prime. So I would probably do Optimus Prime. I think that would impress people.
All right, dad level.
I'm trying to think of a character that most people would know that really don't play video games.
I mean, it could be, if it's a video game character that if you've done well, that will still impress people, because you got a badass sword or something like Cloud or something. I think, you can.
Well, I could do Cloud. I do have the Buster Sword.
Yeah.
But probably Solid Snake. I think that'd be cool.
Nice.
Dan B.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of one here. I don't know. Can you come back to me?
Sure. Dizzy.
Off the top of my head, I would think either two. It'd either be the Paperboy from NES, or just go as like Tommy Vercetti from Vice City. I think that'd be pretty cool.
J-Chip.
I'm gonna go with Pyramid Head from Silent Hill 2. I just think he looks kind of badass, and his pyramid head would attract some people.
MT Shark.
Yeah, J-Chip just stole my answer.
Hey,
Same thing.
it's all good. Bargain bin.
So I'm.
You could be the nurses.
The nurses.
I had this thought of like doing a kind of like remember I got the Jason Voorhees mask. Well, I was gonna do the NES Jason Voorhees. Have like the purple suit, and then like have like a
Nice.
lightsaber instead of the machete because I'm going to Comic-Con. Who is gonna mistake a lightsaber for a real weapon even from far away? Machete, you might mistake that for a real weapon far away, but lightsaber, who would do that? So I would be like the NES Jason Voorhees, and then I would just walk around and stare at people.
Dan B.
Lightsaber.
The lightsaber, yeah.
I'll just blankly stare at them while holding it.
That's kind of cool idea. I'd like to see Jason Voorhees with a lightsaber.
I want to see that story.
Right?
Jason
Yeah.
X
Yeah.
in space.
So let's see. Mine would. I don't know. How about the liquor from Resident Evil? And that way people can like grab my tongue and pull on it and have fun with it.
Good answer.
All right. Number 4. Are zombies still a thing in games or movies? That level.
If you're looking in the foreign market for films, yes. It doesn't seem like we're doing much for films here in the States for zombies, other than The Walking Dead. Games, I mean, you got Resident Evil, but I mean, I'd like to see more zombie-related things.
Dan B.
I noticed you left out that we had a Resident Evil TV show this year. Which
Yeah,
was pretty
Oh,
awful.
oh wait, there was one.
Never seen it.
Either.
Yeah, it's
Never
canceled
happened.
already. Got canceled.
Wow.
So
Thank
that
God.
might say something. That might say something about the state of zombies. Although there wasn't really zombies in it, from what my understanding. So, I don't know. But yeah, I think that it's still a thing. I mean, the new the remake of Last of Us just came out, and that's doing pretty well, I think. Although, would you call those zombies? You know, they're clickers. They're
Yeah, I don't know if I-
mutating what zombies are.
Yeah, I never really kind of thought of them as zombies, but I mean, I guess some people could.
Yeah, I mean that was the way like people described that game to me at first when it first came out back in the PS3 days. They were like, "Oh, it's a zombie game, but the zombies are more mutated now." You know, so I don't know. But yeah, they're pretty much.
Yeah, they're kind of like the zombies in 28 Days Later. Like, they're
Yes.
still technically alive, they're just infected.
Yeah. Okay.
DanCav.
Yeah, no, I was just curious about what everybody else thought. To me, it feels like maybe there aren't as many movies and games these days about this. There used in the years past. There's still some, but that could be a byproduct of the pandemic and like the movie industry slowing down, the game industry slowing down. So yeah, I'm just from my perspective, it feels like it is winding down, but there's still some stuff out there that's good.
Dizzy.
I'd say zombies are still a thing. I don't think they're going anywhere. They're just like called different things nowadays. Like you were saying, clickers. We got deadites, walkers, stoners. Like they're just giving them different names. But they're not going anywhere. I would say though, I want to see more PS4 and 5 light gun zombie games, and not like House of the Dead stuff like on Switch. Like something new, but zombies, like shooting zombies with an actual light gun. We need more actual light gun games.
Well, the closest you can get for that right now is Half-Life Alyx.
I have to check that out. Yeah. I haven't played that one yet.
J Chip.
I guess what Dad Level said kind of goes into what I would say.
Okay. MT Shark.
I know it says Society. I feel like it's sort of drying up. But Dan said, but hopefully they come back.
And Bargain Bin.
Well, there might be like a lull of zombie games here and there. Like I remember 2012 was supposed to be the end of the world, zombie apocalypse, and zombies were literally everywhere.
Yeah.
And you've got like The Walking Dead, you got the Call of Duty, if you want to count that. The House of the Dead remake we just had. So I don't think there's still a thing. Movies, I'm sure there's a children's book about zombies out there somewhere. Maybe I don't know if I'd read it, but I think there's a children's book about zombies. I think they will always be a thing. There'll be like it'll be like a valley and mountain type thing. It'll be more and there'll be less, and it'll just depend on the situation and if people are really feeling zombies that year, I guess.
We need George Romero to rise from his grave and make another zombie movie. That would be killer.
We're gonna go find a Greek god and say, "Rise from your grave," and then he'll come up and start making movies for us.
Rise from your grave.
A zombie making zombies movies.
That would be quite the concept.
I'm down. Let's make that movie.
Green light.
All right, final question for this podcast. Name the scariest monster or villain for you, game or movie. Bargain Bin.
Scariest monster or villain. Gosh, I'm gonna be basic and say Lord Sadler because he did kind of intimidate me. And when I first met him in Resident Evil 4, it felt good to kill him, but he was kind of intimidating.
MC Shark.
I would say the Tyrant from the original Resident Evil.
J Chip.
I would say Nemesis from Resident Evil 3. I just like how that game is kind of played out, where he's scary at first. He's this big badass monster, and then towards the end he gets weaker and weaker. Meanwhile, Jill gets stronger and stronger.
Dizzy.
I'd say for movies, it'd be that silver ball from the Phantasm movie. Like, that thing stuck a guy in the head and blood just, like, spewed out, and it made me stop watching the movie. So I haven't even finished that movie, but that made me stop watching the movie.
Great series. At least the first two are good.
Yeah. I got the series, and I don't know. I just haven't been able to watch them because of that one scene. For like, I don't know.
The second one almost gives you the vibes of Evil Dead 2.
Oh, I need to watch them then. I need to finish them up. I got the whole complete series, but I have the VHS of the first one, and that scene made me stop the tape.
DanCav.
Yeah, I don't have a really great answer for this one, but I'll go with what my daughter thinks is really scary right now, and she hates Chucky the doll. She thinks every time the commercial comes on, she wants me to change the channel.
I would kick Chucky so hard.
Punch him through the window.
Dan B.
I mean, I was thinking. I know J Chip said this one already, but Nemesis is a pretty good one. And I wasn't really ever scared of him, but like, I hated when he'd come out because like he'd kill you all the time, and it'd just be like, it'd get your heart racing, just for the fact that you'd be like, I don't want to die here, I don't want to die here, you know. But it's not
Yeah, that
like scary,
motherfucker runs up on you.
Yeah, exactly. So it's more like you know, there's just a lot of stakes there rather than scariness. But that's about as good as you can get, because I'm someone who's watched so much horror that it's hard to scare me. So.
And Dad Level.
So I'm gonna go with my favorite horror movie of all time, and as John Carpenter's The Thing. So that creature scares the hell out of me. And then as far as a villain for a video game, probably Mitochondria Eve, considering the fact that she just like make people spontaneously combust.
All right, that wraps up this podcast. Thank you guys for the questions, Dan, Bargain Bin, and OWAS. And we'll finish off the podcast with Game of the Month. Dad Level, Game of the Month.
Shadows of the Damned.
Dan B.
I'll go with the NES Halloween and man, what's that other one? The Friday the 13th remakes that this guy did from Fista Games.
DanCav.
I would go with Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection, the remake of the original Ghosts and Goblins game.
Dizzy.
I'm gonna say Manhunt for PS2, and I'm gonna quote Public Enemy: "Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype."
J Chip.
I'm gonna go with Fact Sanity on the NES.
MC Shark.
I'm gonna go with Cold Fear on the OG Xbox.
And Bargain Bin.
I'm gonna go with House of the Dead remake on the Switch, and it also has touch controls. By the way, it's nice.
All right, that concludes the podcast. Thank you guys for hanging out.
Happy Halloween, everybody! Stay safe and eat lots of candy. And if you see a guy in a goalie mask, just run away. It's not worth it.
Happy Halloween.
That's a good way. That's a good way to leave it out. As always, don't blow, just leave. Later. Happy Halloween.
Thank you guys.
Happy Halloween.
See ya.
Don't look behind you.
Too late.
Just a second. I'm thinking of like the whole episode from South Park. Ma'am, bathroom.
All right, well, we'll do a sound check. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Dad Level.
What's up, everyone?
Dan B.
Hey, it's me, Mario. This is my Mario voice that I'm using for the movie now.
Dan Cav.
Sound check 1, 2, 3. Sound check.
Dizzy.
I'm here.
J Chip.
Howdy.
And J Chip, you got a real big delay. Mark.
Yeah, I'm here.
No, we're just waiting on Hobo.
With J-Chip, I only heard static.
Yeah. J-Chip, is it just the headset you have that's having the issue?
I'm back.
Hey, sound check.
Here I go.
How about now?
That's better, J-Chip.
Yeah,
I
that's a
hear
little
ya.
better.
Go ahead and say something again, J Chip, because you like have a massive delay besides the static. Yeah, see,
How's it going?
he's like lit up, but nothing's coming.
No,
with-
I'm on push to talk, so that's why.
Are you charging your phone as well?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why. You're getting a feedback from the power charge in your mic.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
All right, let me check that. I'll be right back.
Okay.